All right, we're doing lines and angles, and I'm not talking about cocaine, where it's lines like in geometry. M&D, you shouldn't say that. Well, who cares? Nobody watches these anyway. So, what am I doing? Lines and angles. We are going to talk about a little bit of geometry, review some geometry facts, and try to do some stuff. All right, so we have an example here, and it says in the figure below, that's this one. The ratio, this is a ratio, it's with 3 parts. The ratio of A to B to C is 2 to 3 to 4. So what you can say is like the ratio of A to B is 2 to 3. Or the ratio of B to C is 3 to 4. And so forth. So, also they give us that A is 2x, B is 3x, and C is 4x. Find A, B, and C. So I'm going to use this. Maybe this is, I don't even know if I have to use that part, but let's see. First of all, this appears to be a straight line. So I'm going to, this part. So I'm going to assume that it is, and say that, if for straight angles, all of this angle has to be 180 degrees. All the way around would be 360 degrees. So A plus B plus C has to equal 180. So that's pretty easy. All we do is we have A plus B plus C. I'm going to do it different. Well, actually, I'm going to write it with 2x, 3x, and 4x. 2x plus 3x plus 4x, because that's what all 3 of those are, has to equal 180. And I can combine like terms now. So that would be what? 4, 7, 8, 9x equals 180. Super easy. Divide by 9. And we good. X equals what? 9 divided by 18 is 20, or 2. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So this would be 20. And then to find A, see, we're not done. We found X. We want to find A, B, and C. So A equals 20 times 2. So that's 40. B is equal to 20 times 3. That's 60. And C, that's 20 times 4 is 80 degrees. There we go. Easy enough. So the key thing to remember here is that straight angles add up to 180. And if you go all the way around, that adds up to 360 degrees. So there you have it. In the next example, we're looking at vertical angles, and I think they're called supplementary angles. So vertical angles. What are vertical angles? Angles that are opposite each other when 2 lines intersect. So we have 2 lines here, this line, and they intersect here. So the opposite angles, those are called vertical angles, and they are going to be congruent. And then the angles that add up to 180 degrees, that's y plus this, or y plus this, because this is a straight line. Those are called supplementary angles. If 2 angles add up to 90 degrees, you can call them complementary angles. So those are just some terms, but we're going to use the fact that these 2 angles are congruent because they're vertical angles. So if I want to find x, I could just simply take this and set it equal to that, because those are going to be the same measure. So 5x plus 6 equals 7 times x minus 2, and I'm going to distribute that. So this hopefully is fairly easy. And we take this 7x minus 14. Don't forget to distribute to the second number. A lot of people forget that. And then I'm going to subtract 5x over to the other side to keep the x positive. Huh? So we have the 2x minus 14 equals 6. We plus 14. We plus 14 here. We have 20 equals 2x, which means x equals 10. X equals 10. Great. Found x. Bam! But I need to find y. Okay. If x is 10, then that means this one's 56, right? So I'm going to draw a new picture. So I know that this is 56 degrees. How did I get that? I plugged in 10 here, right? Hopefully that works out. Remember, x is not the degree measure. It's just part of what makes up the degree measure. So we got to 56. We have a y, and I know that this have to be 180 degrees. So I have 56 plus y equals to, has to be 180, and then I can find y, so minus 56, minus 56, and then I get y. I know what it is, it's 124. And that's it, I'm done. I have both x and y. I did my job. Okay, move on. Next, I want to talk about some theorems that involve, there's the word, involve two parallel lines cut by a transversal. So the parallel lines here are L and M. You can denote that they're parallel by putting like a little arrow on them. Those are parallel lines. And this line K, this one right there, that one's the transversal. So we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal. And we already know that this angle and that angle are going to be congruent. So that's great, because they're vertical angles, which also means we have this angle and that angle congruent, because those are also vertical angles. Same with this and this, that and that. But there's other parts. Alternate exterior angles, that's this one and this one. Those are also going to be congruent, because these two lines are parallel. So, like, of course, this angle and this angle are the same, because the lines are parallel. Actually, so let's write that first. So that's also going to be equal to x, but since that's vertical angles, that's going to be x. Well, same exact idea, this angle and that angle are going to be the same, because these two lines are parallel. So we have y and y. So these are called alternate exterior angles. These are called alternate interior angles, or this way and this way. Consecutive interior angles, they are complementary. They add, they're supplementary. They add up to 180. Hopefully that makes sense, because we have x and y, that has to add up to 180, so that means this and this, because this is the same as that. It has to add up to 180. So we get those facts. We have a couple of things. Yeah. So let's move on to the next example. It's a cool one. I like it a lot. I like lots. So this one's a fun one. We're supposed to find A, B, C, and D. I already know that those are going to be the same because they're vertical angles. So that's easy. Once I have A, I also have B. Same idea with C and D. Those are vertical angles. So that's great. And I could go through this, or I could use the theorems. I'm going to explain both. So hopefully you can follow this. If I were just to imagine this and this, those correspond to these lines. And then this one transversal corresponds to this line. So I actually have alternate exterior angles. So D is 40. And I can just like write that down. That's it. D is equal to 40 degrees. But that's super simple because, well, if it's equal to 40 degrees, that means also C is equal to 40 degrees. That's supposed to be a 40. So that's super easy, and we're done with that part. Now, how do I find A and B? Well, I know that this and this have to be the same, so this is 65 degrees, which means A plus B. Since this is a straight angle, this has to add up to 180. So A plus 65 has to equal 180, and then I can just solve for A. This is beautiful. This is good stuff. It's not difficult. You just got to remember some things. And hopefully you can see that, like, okay, yeah, I assume some things, and then it makes sense. So A is 115 degrees, which also means B is 115 degrees. And we are done. We are done with that one. So, very easy. We are done with that. But we could also have thought about it in a different way. So let's go about this again. This and this are vertical angles, right? So that means this is 40. This and this are vertical angles. That means this is 65. 65, 40, and something else. They make angles of a triangle, and angles of a triangle add up to 180. So we could figure out this one, this angle. Once we figure out this angle, we can figure out this angle. And this angle and that angle are the same. Oh, there we go. This is equal to this. This is equal to this, because these are alternate interior angles. Okay, great. and then we could figure out that angle, which means we could figure out that angle, and if we have this angle, we can figure out this angle, which means those are the same, and then we're done. So it's a different way to go about it. I don't know if you understood that or not, but I'm gonna end the video right there, okay?